Good evening, everyone. We are a few days before Shavuot, Chag Matan Torah. Shavuot is one of the holidays that doesn't have mazal, doesn't have good luck. The word good luck, it's not the right word, but it's just you don't have another word in English. Maybe it doesn't have a good fortune. What does it mean doesn't have good fortune? If you say Pesach, all Israelis knows about Pesach. They understand it's a holiday. They prepare, Leila Seder, even though they don't keep the laws. They violate the rules, they come with a car, they do all kinds of things they're not supposed to do in a holiday. But at least they acknowledge the holiday as something special. You know? They get dressed for it, they do Erev Chag, guests are coming, you feel the holiday, something you feel. Rosh Hashanah, same thing, you feel it. Yom Kippur, even those who don't fast, but they feel the Yom Kippur coming. There's some kind of a preparation for it. Shavuot, it's not a Chagi Mazal. Most Israelis do nothing in this. For them it's nothing. If it falls during the week, okay, maybe they have a day off from work, some of them, maybe not. But it's not something like they do Kiddush and they gather the family, it's a Erev Yom Tov. The Chag Shad, it didn't catch so much among the secular people. You tell them Chanukah, they wait for it all year. Purim, beautiful, custom. Shavuot, you ask the average Israeli, what Chag Shavuot is for you? The answer is throwing water. You know what they do? The kids fill up water, they walk on the street, they throw in your suit. That's what kids do there. Nothing really significant. Most of the people do not even know what it means, Shavuot. I mean, we're smiling, but we have to begin to cry immediately when we see the situation now. You walk now in Tel Aviv, you take 100,000 kids, all the kids in Tel Aviv. You ask them one by one, tell me, can you tell us what happened in the holiday of Shavuot? What is it? What happened in that holiday? If 100 of them would know, I'll be shocked. I will be very surprised. From 100,000, if 100 would know, I'll be amazed. No idea. As a matter of fact, it just reminded me a story that I once told, that there's a school in Tel Aviv, and you know the secular schools in our world, they are not anxious to bring rabbis to talk. So one time, there's one rabbi, black hat, beard, even scarier, you know, to bring someone like that to a school of 400 secular kids in Tel Aviv, and to give him the stage to talk. It's a life risk. It's pikuach nefesh. One guy came to his rabbi, Reform rabbi. He came to him and said, Rabbi, don't ask. I sent my son on a trip to Israel. He came back with a yarmulke. I'm telling him, take it off. He said, no, I like it. I saw some people in Israel with yarmulke. I said, come on, take it off. What should I do with him? He became fanatic. The Reform rabbi said, don't worry, give him 3-4 days, he'll drop it. 3-4 days later, the yarmulke disappeared. The next year, he sent his second son. He came back with yarmulke and tzitzit. You know, he saw a lot of people on a trip with tzitzit. He comes to the Reform rabbi, he said to him, Rabbi, what are we going to do now? It's a major problem. The rabbi said, you know, remember last year, it took 3 days? No, it's going to take a week. Not the end of the world. Pretend you don't see it, it will go away, don't worry. The third year, he sent his youngest son. He came back with a yarmulke and tzitzit, and he said, Abba, I need you to send me for 1 year in yeshiva in Yerushalayim. The father said, what? You need yeshiva? He said to him, yeah, I want to go to yeshiva, I want to sit there and learn. He ran to the Reform rabbi. He said to him, this is what my youngest son's saying. The Reform rabbi say, my friend, we have a big problem. I need you to bring your mezuzahs right away to check. Quickly bring the mezuzot. Something went wrong. You understand? So the third thing is that this religious man, he comes to the school, he begins to give shiurim every Friday. 10, 15 minutes every Friday, they let him talk. So his rabbi told him, how did you do it? None of us can get in. How did you do it? So he said, I went there Erev Shavuot. Day before Shavuot, I went there, and I said to the principal, would you let me talk 10 minutes about Shavuot to the children? So she said, don't worry, Rabbi, with all due respect, we know how to explain to the children about Shavuot. So the rabbi told her, I know, I'm sure you do, but I'll give them some insights, maybe Kabbalistic things. She said, Rabbi, between me and you, you're coming to make them religious. Well, you want to get me into trouble? You want to get me fired? He said to her, no, I'm not going to talk about religion, nothing, not Shabbat, not kosher, no. I just told them the story of Shavuot. So she said, you know what? Would you sign it that you only come to speak 10 minutes on Shavuot? It's a true story. That's exactly how it was. Would you sign? You promise? He said yes. So she drew a paper and he signed that he will not speak about becoming religious. He will only tell them about Shavuot. Now he came there, he spoke about Shavuot. He asked them, kids, do you know why in Shavuot we eat dairy? Why in Pesach we don't eat dairy? Rosh Hashanah we don't eat dairy. All of a sudden Shavuot we make at least one dairy meal. Why? The kids have no idea of dairy. Man. So he said to them, when God gave us the Torah, we just found out that all the meat we prepared is not kosher. Because, it wasn't slaughtered the right way. So now everything became not kosher. There was not enough time to start slaughtering animals and put salt and wash it and cut it and get rid of the skin and to cook it. You need a whole day for that. There's no time. So all we did is we took some milk and we did whatever we can with the milk. Dairy. So that's why for 3,300 years we memorize this by eating dairy on Shavuot. The kids are interested. Wow, nice. After 9.5 minutes, he had 30 seconds left. So he said, since I have half a minute left, I would like to ask you a question. Do you know what else happened in Shavuot? Thank you. What else happened in Shavuot? So he said, I'll give you a hint. He said, what? He said, do you know who wrote the book of Tehillim? So the Israeli Tel Aviv kids, they all look at him, 400 kids. Actual story that happened a few years ago. Not fairy tale, story that happened in life, in a Jewish world, in a Jewish state. 400 kids, not one of them knew who wrote Tehillim. So he said, let me give you a hint. David, they scream, Ben Gurion! Do you understand? Now, I don't have to tell you what happened to the face of this principal. She didn't know where to hide. On the way out, he told her, come on, between me and you, let's put the ego on the side. You have to admit that I have to give at least 10 minutes a week about Judaism, no? She said, if you keep it clean, no achzara b'tshuva, none of this, I agree. And that's every Friday he comes and he gives them some stories from the Torah. What's the purpose of it? No, that's another question. Because usually the mind of a person is, even if you give him a nice Dvar Torah, he's getting very impressed. Wow, the Torah has such nice things. A week later, he doesn't remember. 99% of the time. When will the actual 10 minutes lecture will make an impact? When you say one or two sentences that shock his heart. He feels like, wow, wow, I never knew that. If I knew it, I would never do what I'm doing. It got him to regret his lifestyle. If you get him to regret his lifestyle in the middle of the lecture, whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours, whether it's 10 minutes, you make him, while he sits in a lecture, regret the way he lives. If the speaker speaks about intermarriage and is not married to a Jew, so begin to feel, wow, he's talking about me. He's speaking about someone who doesn't keep Shabbat. So the people who doesn't keep Shabbat, they say, wow, if he's right, I have a very serious problem with Hashem. He's bringing things from the Torah. I never knew that. I guess what I do, it's not so simple. Maybe I should reconsider. The fact that those thoughts go through the mind of a person, that's already a partial tshuva, believe it or not. If a person begins to regret, even if he didn't change right away, it may take him time to digest, it's already partial tshuva, hirurei tshuva it's called. If a person has hirurei tshuva before he dies, he may have the merit to be reincarnated again and to start from A again, just because of hirurei tshuva. And Hashem says, you know what, after all, he had some regret before he died. Usually it happens to sick people. Because in a hospital, everyone is religious, unfortunately. Only there they remember that there's time to be religious. So what happened is, some people have regret. They're in a hospital, they say, wow, I have X amount of time to live. I might as well do something. But now it's too late. He's laying in bed. What can he do? How much he can do right now? So we are preparing for Shavuot. The counting of the Omer, it's also, according to the Zohar, every day we go one step higher, until we arrive to the night. There's something special in the 3 days before Shavuot. Yemei Hagbala, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, tell all the men not to touch their wives, to be separated, no intimacy. Why? Because Hashem wanted everyone to be pure, everyone to go to the mikveh as much as possible, to wash the clothes, to purify themselves, not only physically to be clean, to be purified means spiritually. If a person takes the cleanest bath, all the soaps and shampoo and whatever you want, and it didn't go into natural water, it doesn't take away the impurity. The body became clean, but the impurity stayed. So if a woman, she takes 500 baths in her jacuzzi and washing herself, and she's 100% clean and perfume and I don't know what, still impure. Still impure from her last nida. But if she goes to a mikveh that's not so clean, not exactly clean over there, especially with the bleach in it, It purifies, it takes away the impurity. Then she can take another shower and get rid of the whatever. But reality is we're not talking about being clean physically. We're talking about spiritually, it cleans the soul. That's the secret of this mikveh, when the water gathers naturally into a hole in the ground or in a permanent building. That's considered a part of the ground because it's built into the ground. That automatically has the power to remove the impurity. How do we know that water overcomes bad spirit? Impurity, it's a bad spirit, the ruach. Because the Torah has a verse, ואת רוח הטומאה יעביר מן הארץ. So Hashem called the impurity ruach. Ruach, it's like wind. Wind doesn't enter the water. If you have the biggest storm right now, things are flying, pieces are flying, if you dive under the water, nothing touch you. There's nothing. Can be anything over there. Can be I don't know what. You're inside the water right now. You're protected. A person that comes to become Jewish, think about the power of this water. He goes inside Muhammad. He comes outside Yossi. Think about what's going on here. Muhammad came out Yosef. Or Christine came out Rachel. But if one hair from her head stayed out, she came back Christina. Christina, no Rachel. And Muhammad became Mahmoud, but still Mahmoud. He didn't come out Yossi. We're laughing, but this is the power of the thing. Many times when we do conversion, almost always, at least 8 out of 10 times, when the people, men and women, they have to go into the mikveh, so we tell them put your hands forward and go inside all the way deep. Usually, always, they keep some part of the head outside. They don't know. People don't know how to go deep under the water. And we tell them, you have to pay very carefully to make sure that the entire body was all the way in. Why? Because if 1 inch, not inch, a millimeter stay above the water, the impurity still holds to that point. That's why, for instance, if there's a wound or a piece of tape, something is attached, or a ring that is very attached to the skin, very attached, that the water doesn't go in, that's called chatzitza. Why? It's enough that one place in the body, even 1 millimeter, didn't get the water to touch it. It's like they have to go inside again. This is the power of the water, the natural water, to remove the impurity from the person. So the preparation for Shavuot, the Zohar says, every day one step forward, until we get. Now we are actually, Shavuot night is Saturday night. So tomorrow night, those 3 days begin. Tomorrow night, it's going to be already Thursday. You understand? Because in Judaism, the day starts and the evening before. So tomorrow night, right now, everyone thinks it's Tuesday. But it's really Wednesday now. In a Jewish calendar, if a baby is born now, his brit going to be next Wednesday, not next Tuesday. You understand? So therefore, so tomorrow night is already Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Motzei Shabbat, it's already Sunday. Shavuot begin. 72 hours before, that's the days that Hashem actually separated between the male and the female, and told everyone to prepare for the day that we're going to change the face of history. The day we became a nation. How do you know that we became Jewish and we became the nation of God in the moment that we received the Torah? After all, Avraham Avinu, way before that, Hashem already took him to be his son. He gave him test. He called him Avraham HaIvri. Avraham HaIvri. Someone asked me today a question. He told me, in Israel, they make a lot of my films in Hebrew. And it goes all over the media, all over the YouTube and Facebook. In thousands of pages it goes. You know how people share. It goes in minutes. It goes from so many pages. And then right away, the number begins to climb. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. Each one of those films have hundreds of thousands of views. And one person said today a very, very clever question. He asked, he said, you explain in your film that why Hashem needed to make the world. Why Hashem had to make the world? Before Hashem made the world, it was alone. There was nothing here. There's no material. One day Hashem decided to create material. He made the earth, He made the galaxies, He made everything that we see today. Everything that is material, Hashem made in less than a second. Everything was made. So in a minute that Hashem made everything, and then He decided to put people over here. The question is why? But He didn't need all this. What is it? It's a movie for Him that He enjoyed watching what's happening. He was bored. So the answer, the purpose of that film was, based on the Mesilat Yesharim of the Ramchal, the Path to the Just, that the source of good wants to share with his greatness to others. If you don't have who to give, I always give this example. Person was in business, he worked and worked and worked, made $100 million. He's 50 years old, but he doesn't have kids. He has $100 million now. But he's dying to give something to someone. He gives here, he gives the rabbi, he gives the shul, he gives a lot of strangers, but he doesn't have his own blood to give to. So what happened? If you tell him, listen, would you give 99 million to have a kid or two? So you only have 1 million left to give them some candy and bamba maybe. With the inflation, maybe you need a mortgage to buy a bag of bamba. But you know, you'll be able to give your children something. He would agree. He would agree. Well, look now in Nepal. One of the things we discover when Hashem destroyed the place with all the idols over there and all the idol worshippers, every time the tragedies hit, pay attention. It's places with massive idol worshipping. We just found out through the tragedy, the first and the second earthquake, that so many Israeli gays are buying babies from there. They take their seeds, they send it over there to Nepal. They take advantage on poor Nepal women over there. They make them incubate there. They pay them, I don't know, whatever they pay them. I don't know the amounts, but very, very small amount. Because the currency over there is not so strong. And they make them carry the baby for them for 9 months. And then when it's born, they go and they pick up the baby and they bring it to Israel. And Itzik and Avi raising him with shifts. One day he's the mother, the other day the other one is the mother. What about the welfare of the baby, that he needs a mother? They can care less. Selfishness. If a religious guy would do such a thing, they'll rip him apart on the media. But they allow everything. They're allowed to make parades. They're allowed to destroy your life. They're allowed to bring their filth everywhere that you don't want to see them. They allow everything. But if somebody in the name of the Torah speaks, right away massacre against him. If he says something from the Torah. This is the way with the world we live in today. So part of everything that all this scam was discovered. If not this earthquake, no one would ever know about it. It was a hidden operation. Not one time I ever heard about it before this earthquake. Only now when the life of the babies was in jeopardy, all of a sudden it came on the news. They were hiding it pretty well. And also the media would cooperate with them, because they are the media. They control the media. Who is all these liberal lefties? It all goes together. Liberal, lefty, pro-Arab, gays, haters of Hashem, haters of religion, haters of rabbis, haters of religious people. It's all one family. That's what it is. So the question that this person asked was, you say that the Ramchal explained in his book, in the beginning of Mesilat Yesharim, Path to the Just, the way Hashem made the world because he wanted to share from his wealth and greatness to others. So then comes the question, so why wouldn't he put us right away in heaven? Why we have to go through this trial period and a test and to suffer here 70, 80 years with work, traffic, problem, divorce, sicknesses, depression, Obama, and all the rest, until finally we make it to heaven, if we make it to heaven, if. Now, there's no guarantee, after all the efforts, if we make it there. So the point is, why Hashem didn't just put us there and finish? What does he need, this world? What does he need, Gehenna? What does he need, punishments? What does he need, all this? And the answer of the Mesilat Yesharim is because if we would get it as a gift, we wouldn't appreciate it. We would not be able to enjoy from it. When you get something for free, you don't enjoy it. Why? After a while, you begin to have shame. And I always give this example. If you come to me, you live by me 1 week, and I say to you, you came on vacation. You have nothing to worry about. We serve you, we cook for you, we do your laundry. Here is a credit card. Here is a car. You can keep dreaming about that vacation. But I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, here is this, here is that. Don't worry. So he says, after a few days that he receive, every time you give him the steak, oh, thank you. Feel, wow, look at this. So then after 3-4 days, he said, can I help you, Rabbi? Can I help you with the garbage? Okay, let me take the garbage out. Since when you like to take garbage out? In your house, you never touch the garbage. Farah, the garbage is full. You never took it once. Why all of a sudden you volunteer to take the garbage out? Because you begin to suffer from what I'm giving you. First time, you didn't get embarrassed. Second time, a little more. Third time, more. After a while, please, no more. It's enough. I don't need any more. No, take. At one point, this pleasure became a torture. So that's why Hashem wanted us to earn it. When you earn it, you're not embarrassed. Hey, I worked very hard for the deal. Where is my commission? You're not embarrassed to ask for it. And when they pay you, you don't feel guilty. But 6 months I ran, I showed you houses. Finally, you agree with your princessa to take one house. Now I need to get $5,000. Your eye is on my $5,000. Give me the money. No, you're not embarrassed. But if you did nothing, For instance, sometimes brokers, all they know is to sign you a confidential, whatever they call this document, that no matter who sells the house, they have exclusive right. So if your uncle bought the house, your uncle that raised you, they still get their commission. Why? Because he signed. Even if they never show you one client. So when they brought you the client, Mr. Cohen, you forgot something. Where is my check? But when your uncle bought the house, or your neighbor, or I don't know who, you found a customer, when he needs his commission, he's embarrassed. Why? You know he doesn't deserve it. He didn't do anything to get it. This is the difference between earning and receiving a free gift. So then I ask, in that case, why Hashem made us with shame? Let Hashem eliminate shame. Why he invented shame? Why do you need to invent shame? Because you invented shame, that's created all the problem. Eliminate shame. There's no such thing, shame. Nobody is worried. Everyone wants more. The more you give, the more I enjoy. No shame. Nobody knows what shame is. Nobody becomes red. No embarrassment. Just have, give me, and that's it. What's the problem? This question and the answer to this question doesn't exist inside the book of Mesilat Yesharim. The book, it's a legend. Perhaps the most important Musar book in history that teach so much about the purpose of life and the character, personality, devotion, midat chasidut. When you read this book, it's affecting your life. I made a series about it, Path to the Just. It's such a successful series, Hebrew, English. Changed the life of thousands of people. People that listen to it, even goyim. It changed their entire life. It's a master in psychology. If you listen to this CD, it changed your entire life from one side to the other. Plus, it helps contributing to your religion level, of course. But even without talking about religion, just as a human being, it affects you in every aspect of your life. But still, the book has something very, very major missing from the book. And if you don't answer that, basically someone can criticize the whole book in a minute. So it's like coming all the way up to the top. In the last step, you didn't make it. Almost there, 99.9%. One more flight up, you're on the roof of the Empire State Building. You went up almost there. Man, another second you're there, and you're almost there, but you didn't make it. So if somebody asks this question, wait a minute, you explained very well why Hashem made it, so we have an answer for this. One answer, dismiss the whole book. What is it? If that's the reason why Hashem needed to make us earn it, because he didn't want us to feel bad about earning it, he would eliminate shame, put us directly in heaven, and everyone was happy. And we wouldn't have any problem. No, what's the answer to this question?
You can't have good without bad.
No. No, same answer I give you. Why Hashem needs bad? Just does good, finished. Good. Give us the good, we enjoy, we feel great, and it's wonderful.
I think the rabbi answered this one time. I think it's because we're from Hashem, you know? And Hashem himself, Hashem.
Very good. What happened to the AC, Mr. Moscow? Huh?
You want me to read the comment?
No. Just hint to me what it is, without talking.
Okay.
Pantomima, you know?
Torah, for free. But air conditioning is not. Did I give you the...
Don't worry, I have my checkbook here, please.
No, but don't understand. It's not a deal between me and you.
It's broken or what? What's the story?
They took it away from you.
Oh.
That's it. Right?
But what about the other one?
I'll take care of it. We're going to have to probably open the window.
Okay, now. So the answer is, when Hashem put the soul in Adam's body, what was so special about the soul that made it eternal? Everything that you create, no matter what, when the Creator creates something, that creation has limitation in it. You limit the size, you decide the color, you decide the, all the traits. You basically designed it, so the design is based on what you decided. So if I was designed by someone, he actually limited me to my height, to my size, to my brilliance, to my stupidity. Whatever the case is its limitation, right? Like the manufacturer, he makes the engine of the car with the 2.0 liter or 3. He decides how much horsepower. The manufacturer decides your skills. So what's going on here, how Adam became eternal? What is this? The soul is divine, it's eternal, it never dies, it has no limitation. Once it comes out of the body, no limitation of memory, no limitation of distance, no limitation of hearing. Inside the body, plenty of limitations. As soon as the soul comes out, no more limitation. What's going on here? The answer is, the Gemara explained. The Gemara said that after Hashem made Adam HaRishon, Vayitzer Hashem Elokim ta'Adam afar min ha'adama. Hashem made Adam sent from the ground. After the body was made, Vayipach be'apav nishmat chayim. He blew into his nostril a living soul. And only after that, Vayiya Adam lenefesh chaya. What made the person alive? That the fact that Hashem blew a living soul, a spark, inside Adam. The oral Torah explained this spark was a part of God Himself. Chelek Eloah mimal. Not something that He created. An actual part of Himself He put inside the soul of Adam. He created the soul, but He actually merged it with a spark of Himself. And this is what keeps that soul alive for eternity. The divine spark. Chelek Eloah mimal, like the Gemara say, man de nafach midelei kenafach. The one that blew the soul into Adam, blew it from himself. Therefore, whatever the traits of God, this is what we have. You cannot change God, He's perfect. You cannot modify Him. You cannot increase the volume or decrease the volume or the anger or the love or the passion. It's not open for negotiation. It's already a perfect thing. It cannot be more perfect than it is. So here comes the question that I got today. This was only to explain to you why this person asked me this question. So far what I told you, it's the film that we made in Israel. So now today he asked a very good question. So he said, if God is basically put Himself into us, meaning what we have inside comes from Him. So that means that the shame, it's an integral part of the traits of God. So this person, this Israeli guy, sends an email today. He says, in that case, I don't understand. Before Hashem made the world, if you say that He had shame, what was the purpose of that shame? There was no one to be ashamed from. Shame is when you have people. If you're alone in an island, you can do whatever you want. Nobody's looking now. No, what do you think the answer to this question is?
You should have shame for yourself.
If I was alone in an island, would I care? The tree is looking at me. Sorry. I don't want to walk with my shirt on. The tree is looking. Big deal. But then people come right away. I'm ashamed, no? Forget about the fact that Hashem is watching in this. I'm talking a person that lives like a monkey. He's alone in an island. Is ashamed from anyone? I tell you, one of the things that the Torah is warning us, that even when there's no one around you, Hashem is always around and watching. But there's always people that watching no matter where you are. People are watching you when you're in a bathroom. People are watching you when you take a shower. People are watching you when you walk not modest in your bedroom. There's always someone that watch you. Always. Now explain what I just said. That's why the Shulchan Aruch have rules. How you get up, how you get dressed, how you behave in close places, even when no one is there besides you. There's rules. Why do I say everyone is watching? There's always people watching. There are people who are reincarnated in space, souls of wicked people. They're in space. They're always in space. That's why when they do Ouija board, seance, and somebody wants to call his grandfather, All of a sudden, somebody else come and move the glass. What's your name? John, son of Isaac. Where are you from? From Texas. You Jewish? God forbid. That's what the seance is. So, how did you come to our seance? We call Yitzchak Cohen. We didn't call John the son of Isaac. I have a message to pass to my wife. This is what happens. All of a sudden, a different soul isn't present. And you can see by the dialogue that they see the people, they see everything in a room. You don't see anything because they're not in a physical form. But they can see us. So if you sit not modest in your room, make sure there's always people who can look at you. That's why the Torah say that Hashem is judging a person how he behaves bechadrei chadarim. Come on, please Hashem, give me a break. All the time I have to be tzanua, at least one room. Let us feel free. Bechadrei chadarim. This is how I checked you. Where you are over there when no one is around. Are you embarrassed from me or not? But even without the souls, because the souls are in movement in space. Maybe that particular moment no one is there. But even there, sometimes there are souls reincarnated in the walls of the body. In the walls of the apartment or the house. Inside the wall, there could be a soul. They're watching and feeling and hearing, but cannot move out of there. That's the punishment. Usually it's more common in the shuls. People who never came to shul to pray, that's usually a punishment that they get. To be reincarnated in the walls of the shul all day to listen to prayers, all day. For X amount of years until they get forgiven. If you remember in my film, Life After Death, in case you don't remember, watch it again, but not tonight, during the day. If you remember, I show a family, a non-Jewish family from the 1900s. They took a picture 3 months after the little girl died. And when they developed the black and white picture, right there on the wall, the image of the little girl was right there in the wall. But the eyes of the people cannot see what the lens of the camera can see. The lens of the camera works in a different frequency than the eye. The eye of a person, Hashem designed it that you cannot see what's around you. Like the Zohar said, if people would be able to see 1 second the demons and the Malachei Kabbalah and all the horrible things in space, everybody would run after my car tonight to Monsey, sprint, with your high heels, on the way up to the... Why? Rabbi, put me in a yeshiva. Wow, since when you became such a Haredi? Rabbi, I see what's around. Forget about business. Forget about my Range Rover. Forget about my Bentley. Forget about my BMW. Forget about this. I want to come to the yeshiva. Please give me a place here. There's no room. On the floor, on a mattress. Why? He see what's out there. He got the point. But that's not what Hashem wants. He doesn't want to put a gun to the people for them to agree to do what they have to do. You have to do it out of love, out of appreciation, out of gratefulness, and the most important thing, because that's the truth. The truth is above everything. So what happened over here? So when they took a picture, the daughter that died, or the granddaughter, right there in a picture. But then later when I looked, I saw 2 other faces next to her. 3 faces of 3 dead people on the wall by a picture. Do you know there are people that they're able to see spirits even without cameras on every day? At least 20 times in the last 20 years, people that see spirits contacted me. They feel comfortable to tell me what they see because they hear my lectures and they know I speak about these things. So they know I'm not going to think they're crazy because I'm aware of this reality that it exists. Somebody else that never heard about such thing, they think, oh, they're crazy, stay away from them. But they're perfectly fine. They just see things. So there's one woman, she went to the Western Wall and she saw by the wall thousands of faces of people. Thousands reincarnated into the wall. Thousands of faces. She described how they look. This guy look like this guy look like that. There's people that see letters in the forehead. The Ari HaKadosh was very holy. He was able to see letters. in people's forehead. There was one American woman, she does not know one word in English, in Hebrew. One word in Hebrew she doesn't know. Completely American, grew up here, everything. She said that she see on people's forehead, Hebrew letters. I asked her, can you write what you see? Can you, like drawing. She doesn't know what she does, but she sees, she looks. She begin to put letters. I looked at what she wrote, a verse from Prophet Yeshaya. A verse from Isaiah, from the book of Isaiah, she see on people's forehead. I asked her, always you see on people's forehead letters? She said, no. Only on the good people I see letters. On the bad people I see a very big black hole, empty. She sees things. There's people who see mamash spirits. Spirits, they actually see spirits. The Gemara gave few examples of people like this. It always existed. I was once in a seminar. There was one doctor from Montreal. She came to New York for a seminar. And in a lecture, Life After Death, she started to describe what happened to her one time. And since then, she started to see dead people. So these are the things that happens in the world. So they're obviously around us. So we cannot see them because Hashem made us unable to see them. But every rule has an exception to the rule. Some people can't see it.
Schizophrenic?
No, schizophrenic is a different problem. And it's not necessarily seeing the souls. They can see other things, not necessarily souls. You understand? So the answer to the guy's question, anybody thinks he knows the answer or no?
What was the question again, Rabbi?
סליחה, מה הייתה השאלה? She said, so Hashem has integrally shame in him. That's why when he put the soul in Adam, that shame went into Adam with it. But why did Hashem need shame? No, what's the answer? Does the shame of Hashem, if it's always there, is it the same like with people or no? People do things wrong, right? They have free choice. They have evil inclination that push them to do bad things. Hashem ever did a bad thing, ever, in a history? It was always here, right? Hashem is forever. You know how the little kids come to the mother, Mommy, I have an important question. Yes, son. Who made Hashem? I'm sure all the mothers here knows what I'm talking about. Who made Hashem? Why? Because the kid understand, is clever. He understands. Somebody made the book. Somebody made the table. Somebody made everything. But who made Hashem? They have this question, no? No, what's the answer to this?
Nobody made Hashem. Hashem always existed.
Hashem was always here.
Always existed, yes.
Always existed. So then people ask, I never saw one thing in the world that always existed. By the way, you should know that there was a big argument between the scientists if the world was created or it was always here. So that means important scientists, until recently, always thought that the world was always here. What does it mean always here? Trillions, billions, always here? How can it be always here? It had to have a beginning because it's a material. What? You ever saw a material that was not made by someone or was designed by someone? Don't you see a design? The design had to start somewhere. How did they come to the conclusion that the world was always here? What made scientists, that are not supposed to be stupid people, to say such a stupid claim? And why they already changed their mind recently? Two questions. One, how did they dare to say something so stupid that a little kid knows better? To begin with, it cannot be that they're that foolish. Has to be a reason for it. And the second is, after all these years that they claim that, one day they agree that someone made the world. Who is this someone? That's another third argument already. But they finally agree that someone made the world. So the answer is, by saying that someone made the world is actually falling in a trap of religion. That means if somebody made the world, there's a chain reaction into it. There's consequences. That means someone made the world and no one ever made something without a purpose. Has to be a reason. And that someone that made such a wonderful, brilliant world with so many things and such control, with such a design, with such an amazing plan, someone like that would not go and make such a world without a purpose. There has to be a purpose. And that someone is probably watching me right now, and he runs the show. I don't want to be intimidated by a boss. I want to be free. You know, freedom, the land of freedom, United States. Everyone wants to be free. So how do I avoid and slaughter the religion before it even started? By saying the world was always here, meaning no creator. No creator, no purpose. Because you cannot talk about purpose without a creator. Because the creator decides the purpose. So if there's no creator, there's no purpose. No purpose, there's no judgment. You can do whatever you want. Kill, do whatever you want. Steal, you do whatever you want. No one can tell you what to do. There's no boss, no guideline, no rules. So why they backed up? Why now all of a sudden everyone agreed that the world has a creator?
Galaxy expanding.
Very good. Because they proved already that Earth is constant space and all the universe is expanding. It's expanding, expanding, expanding. It's constantly on a process of becoming wider and wider. Meaning, if you press rewind in a video, and it goes reverse, 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 one day it will come to a dot. Eventually, right? Even though it's not true, by the way. Because if you think about it deeper, how do you know it will come to a dot? Maybe it started with already a wide range and just expanded a little bit more. You know? But the one way or the other, you know that since it's expanding, 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 at one point there was a beginning point. Right? So it started in one point and it constantly expands. Therefore, somebody had to make the world. It wasn't always here. Because in a form that we see it today, for sure it wasn't always here because it constantly expands. So they finally agreed that the world had a start. So the answer to the question with the shame is, does Hashem have shame? Where does it show in the Torah that God actually has this trait of shame? Who can give me a source? If you don't know, I'm giving you homework for next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday you're not here.
Next Tuesday we're here. The following Tuesday I'm not here anymore. This is the one more lecture here next Tuesday, and it's going to be the final one. So over here. Then I go to Israel and then to Italy, and when I come back we'll already have another location. We already have a few locations. I have to decide where to do it. Bezrat Hashem. No?
Time?
Shame. Where do you find that Hashem actually felt embarrassed about a certain situation?
When Adam ate from the tree?
Huh?
When Adam ate from the tree?
No.
Or when Adam-
And he got angry, not embarrassed. Huh? When Hashem, huh?
Put Adam to sleep and take the river.
When Hashem wanted to destroy the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, he said, how can I do it without first consulting with Avraham? Lo naim. It's embarrassing. I'm going to hide such a thing from my servant, from my faithful servant. I have to first consult with him to prepare him that this is what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I don't feel comfortable doing it without letting my faithful servant know in advance. You see that even Hashem has this in a right measurement of shame, because shame is one of the most important things in life. As a matter of fact, I want to ask you now a question. If you know the answer, your future is bright. There are two things in life that indicate that you're a smart person. Two things. If you have those two things, your foundation is very good. You don't have it, you have to work on it very, very serious. Two things that if you see it by a person, this person is a good raw material. you can make a very shiny diamond out of him.
Shame and thankful.
Shame and?
Dedication.
The way you answer a question. The way you answer a question when you ask.
That's already a little detail. How the foundation, I'm talking about the foundation. Shame, I already told you. So 50% of the answer you just got.
You're talking about
Midah. Two things by a human being that shows that he has wisdom.
Humble.
Very good.
Fear.
Fear. He lives with constant fear. Fear from what? Fear, listen, fear from health issues. Fear from getting killed. Fear from becoming, chas v'shalom, paralyzed. Fear from hurting people. Fear from what God is thinking about me. Many different kinds of fear. We're not going to specifically speak about one kind of fear. All different kinds of fear, it's a sign that you're a smart person. Someone has no fear, is the dumbest person on earth. Fear design and succeed the life of a person. And I'm going to prove both of them to you. Shame and fear. How do we know about shame? Let's start with shame. What indication we have that shame connects directly with wisdom? That shame and wisdom, it's one. You cannot separate between them. One is nothing without the other. You have shame, you have wisdom. You have wisdom, you have shame. Who can give me a proof for that? Very good. Adam and Eve. First thing that they ate from the tree of knowledge, of wisdom, Etz HaDa'at. What was their first reaction? Which means it was the most urgent right away to do. They were ashamed that they're naked. Right away, they had to go and cover themselves. So you see that a first transaction after they got the wisdom was shame. That's a sign of wisdom, shame. When you embarrass what people would say about what you do, when you don't want to do Chilul Hashem, when you watch how you talk, when you don't raise your voice and scream and make everyone get angry, when you behave in a certain way, then you know what people think. Sometimes, I have to tell you, sometimes people come to the airport and they're late for the flight. There's a huge line in security. So I remember one time I went with another guy. We both have the same flight and we both has a huge line in security. One machine, such a long line, we're not going to make it. And these people are not in a rush. They have another hour or two until the flight. But they're in front of us in a line. I'm standing over there eating my heart and saying, I'm going to miss my flight. But this guy didn't have shame. Excuse me. In the airport, everyone, 300 goyim looks at us with the kippot. Excuse me, we have a flight in 15 minutes. Please move to the side. Please be nice, madam, sir. So I'm like, going behind it. I don't know where to hide. I said, listen, he already made the embarrassment. At least let me benefit from it. So we made it. Most of these people were nice. You see, some of them didn't like the idea. But if I was alone, of course I would miss the flight. I start screaming like this. Embarrassing. Some people have no shame. In front of everyone. Not to talk about the people, you offer them $1,000, they come and make themselves the joke of the history on television, on all kinds of shows. How to believe how people would be so stupid. It's amazing because sometimes these people don't think one day I will have children and they will watch it. All these ladies who go to dirty movies, how they don't think that one day they'll have children, and these children, if it's enough, there's a chance that her son or daughter one day will see her mother in a movie like this. It's worse than a death sentence. What normal person will want to be alive in the day that it happens? What normal person? If a person, let's say, was under the influence of drugs, he didn't know what he's doing, he will give anything he can to bury that movie, that there's no record of it. In Israel, you have few movie stars that became religious. They're not, chas v'shalom, in dirty movies. They were in comedy, stupid movies. But now when they Bnei Torah, one of them said, I would pay every penny I save to buy the rights. They don't give me. I said to them, I want to buy the rights and destroy the films. So you're crazy? It's a chicken that gives golden eggs. Until today, 30-something years, they still make money from his movies. But he's already an important rabbi. Sitting, learning Torah, serious. They constantly show his film that he stands on the beach without a shirt, making jokes. Think about the embarrassment. This is, by the way, an indication what will happen to us in Olam HaEmet, in a trial. Think about this. He has to deal with this embarrassment for the rest of his life. One bad incident and someone puts you on YouTube and the whole world knows about it, you cannot come out of your home now from the embarrassment. Imagine the Olam HaEmet in a trial of a person when they show him all the worst things that he did in his life. Wow. Where you start 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 500, 5,000, 5 million, 5 billion. So it's a very big embarrassment. So shame obviously shows a wisdom. Who can give me a proof that fear also is wisdom? Fear.
You don't have fear, you're going to do stupid things.
People that are reckless. They meet a girl, 2 weeks later they married already. 4 weeks later they found out she have mental issues. 5 years in court. And now, Baruch Hashem, they're back in the market. Why? Couldn't wait. Yeah, there's a tzaddik that comes to my lecture in one of the towns that I speak. Very nice person. Very, באמת nice, ממש בן אדם טוב. Beautiful human being. I speak to him one day, a week later he told me I'm engaged. A week ago, nothing. The week after, he's already engaged. How I was able to meet a girl and to be engaged in 1 week? Even the Hasidim didn't break this record. Did you ever see a Hasid that he met his fiancée today and 3 days later they were engaged? Still go on a date or two, no? So I say to him, Baruch Hashem, the girl that he found is very good. Bishamayim, Hashem helped him. But in general, it's not good to rush. Why people rush right away to get married? Few reasons. If it's a man, it's physical desire, drives him crazy, cannot wait anymore. Hey, Rabbi, I waited all these years, please. Every day it's a torture. Okay. Sometimes the reason for that is, some men say, what is he talking about? I'm not talking people who make sins. People that make sins, they're not in a rush. People who watch themselves, watch their eyes, watch themselves not to make sins, they count the second. From the minute he finally went on a good date, he doesn't sleep anymore. From the time he went on a good date until the day of the marriage, I promise you 1 hour he didn't sleep. Why? Maybe something will go wrong. One person, in the time of the Chazon Ish, every shidduch he goes, his neighbor break it. You know the people that are jealous, they cannot see someone have good thing in their life, so they basically do everything they can to ruin it for the other. You know, there are people, they don't mind even to lose what they have as long as the other one loses it with them. I give you an example. Eliyahu Hanavi came to one guy, he said to him, today it's your lucky day. Everything you ask me, I'm giving you. In one condition. Yes, yes. That whatever you ask, I give your neighbor double. And he hates the neighbor very much. Whatever I give you, I give him double. So he said, okay, so take one eye of mine. With one I can manage, you know. That's many times people say, I won't die before I take revenge. I said, revenge, all your life, revenge. Revenge. Leave something for Hashem, revenge. Revenge is pure stupidity. Pure stupidity. It's like two kids in a class. Itzik gave a smack to Avi. The teacher saw it. He's going to give Itzik what he deserves. Wait for recess. But he cannot wait. So right away, jump on him and give him a smack back. So now they both suspended. You wait another 20 minutes. The teacher will send him home for a week. Your revenge will get done by someone else. Plus, you stay clean. Now you took revenge, you become guilty as well. 2 criminals instead of 1. But it's bad midot. And it's also lack of faith. If I won't take revenge, Hashem won't do it. Where is Hashem? Where? So far he's making beautiful business, money, everything works for him. I don't see that Hashem has any plans to pay him what he deserves. You know, that's how people think. I'm going to take justice to my own hand. Pardon. Aval, I have to do it. It doesn't work this way. So the answer is, we found that fear, we have few sources for it in the Tanakh. One is King David. You read Tehillim, it's a part of the Tanakh. Every chapter in Tehillim, David makes sure to show everyone how much he fears God. He fears his punishment, he fears his thoughts, he fears what he's going to do. He's fearing so many things. Half of the Tehillim is fear. This is the answer to all these people who try to modify Judaism by saying no fear, no fear. That's nonsense. Fear, it's necessary. It's a necessity. Without it, you can never be successful. Of course, fear with love, it's a beautiful combination. Right? Fear and love. And love should be more than fear. If you can love Hashem and follow his instruction more with love than fear, then it's a very good point. But if not, the only thing that will save you, it's the fear. Fear, it's an insurance, an umbrella insurance. If love will do it, matov, beautiful. But if love won't do it, only fear can do it. How many times you tell your children, Itzile, please don't take the piece of metal and stick it into the outlet. He looks at you, 2 minutes later, he puts it in. Itzile, mommy said something. Again, he pushes in. After 3-4 times, we're not going to stand there all day and preach to him, no? What do? The whole neighbor, what happened? Next time, he holds the clip. He's about to push it in. He looks at you, go like this. He puts it down. What prevents him from dying? Fear. So now, someone that watched it said, don't listen to her. It's not good to fear. Do it. Do it. We don't like. It's not our shita. It's not our way. Die as long as you did it with pride. That's what they teach today. A lot of speakers speak like this. And they contradict the Torah non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. And brainwash the people to do the opposite of what Hashem wrote in the Torah. The Torah is not ours. We don't own it. We have permission to use it. We have an obligation to follow it. It's not ours. We don't have permission to modify it because we don't like certain things. So fear, Shlomo HaMelech say, Ashrei Adam mefachet tamid. Ashrei means you are in great happiness and lucky. Why? Because you always live with fear. There's different kinds of fear. There's fear from Hashem, from the punishment. That's a lower level. There's Irat HaRomemut. Do you know what it means, Irat HaRomemut? Or like the Ashkenazim say, Iras HaRomemuis. I hope I said it right. One way or the other is the same meaning. So what is it? What does it mean about this? What does it mean?
Presence of it.
What does it mean, Romemus?
Mercy?
Huh?
Mercy? Awe.
Romemut, it's El Ram Venisa. Ram means very high, above everything. Ram. Romemut means evaluating God in a proper way will prevent you from making mistakes and sins. If you evaluate him correctly, you will never dare to go against him. You can only go against him when you don't know who he is. I give you an example. If the chief of the FBI will come in with shorts, with a bicycle, comes in, you don't know who he is, sits over here, and begin to annoy us. Makes noise, answer his phone in the middle, people begin to get angry. People start to give him looks, somebody even scream at him. As soon as he moves his shirt or whatever, he saw chief of FBI. Right away, he said, "Excuse me, sir, I didn't mean to yell at you. He's not going to tell him, I just found out you're the chief of the FBI, Last thing I want to deal with is someone like you. So he comes and says, "Forgive." All of a sudden, he became tzaddik. "Forgive me, I didn't mean, I'm sorry, I lost my temper. Okay, forgive me. Friends, can I take you to dinner?" What changed? He realized who he's dealing with. There's a famous story. It used to be Rav Saadia Gaon 1,000 years ago. I remember 1,000 years ago, you never knew which rabbi has what face. If people heard in the world that there's Rabbi X and Rabbi Y, nobody had a way to know how they look. There's not like Google. One time when they started to put me on J-Root Radio here in Brooklyn, so before they put me on J-Root Radio, I had my listeners, my audience, those who get CDs, those who come to the lecture. It wasn't so big. As soon as he went on the radio, he went to almost every home in Brooklyn. Faradim, Ashkenazim, Hasidim, people that don't even have any internet. So people started to hear. So what do? They're curious to see who's the one I'm listening to. So they come, they put a picture, the name in Google, and it comes a face. So then they see on the street, they begin to wave. How do they know? From the radio. They don't know from the radio. Today there's a way to find the face of everyone. Put a name, a face comes. Facebook, Twitter, all these things, face comes. Most of the time you know who you're dealing with. Person calls you, "My name is such and such. I want to buy your home. What's your name?" This guy's not for me. This guy's for me. Right away, in the middle of the talk. But back in the day, you can hear his name 5 million times. You don't know who he is. He can stand next to you in a grocery store, and you don't know who he is. So Rav Saadia Gaon, everyone knew is the biggest rabbi in the world, but nobody knew how he looks, besides his friends and relatives around where he lives. So one time he was walking in a place, and there was heavy snow, and then he looks for a place like a motel or something to stay for the night, and he came into the motel. And the motels always had like a restaurant, place to eat, and places to sleep. And Jews and non-Jews, on the way, they rent a room. So he said, "I need a place to sleep for tonight because of the snowstorm." They told him, "We packed." What is he going to do? He said, "Put me anywhere. The only place we can let you sleep is on the floor. Better than sleeping in the snow. Sleep on the floor." They don't know who he is. Say an old man, what are they going to do? They have to, we're doing you a favor. So they made him sleep on the floor. In the morning, remember, back in the days, 5, 6 in the evening, it's already dark. You have little lights, candles, but you cannot see faces clear. In the morning when the sun rises, somebody recognized him and started to scream in the hotel, "What? Bizayon HaTorah!" Ripped his shirt. "What are you doing? The biggest rabbi in the world on the floor like a dog. Oy vey, tragedy." They scream. The owner of the hotel come. "What happened? How did you do such a crime? What?" They put him on the floor. "Who is he?" "Rav Saadia Gaon." Shh. Right away, fainted. Get up. "Rabbi, forgive me. Forgive me. I'm so sorry." So the rabbi said, no, there's nothing to forgive. You did me a favor. I was supposed to be outside. They didn't know who I am. Relax. But the rabbi told him, "You just taught me a lesson for life." To the owner of the hotel. He said, "You see, when you don't know who you're dealing with, you do whatever you want. You don't feel guilty. As soon as you recognize who is the person you're dealing with before you didn't know, look how your entire behaving changed in a second." So when a person doesn't know who Hashem is, takes it casual. Why not modest? Come on, big deal. Okay, so Hashem say, fine, I respect Hashem, don't get me wrong, but no, it's not such a big deal. But as soon as a person understands who is God, who is Hashem, he's going to dare to do one thing against him, one tiny thing against him. Now, one word of Lashon Hara would ever come out of his mouth. As soon as in his anger he's about to say something, oh, Hashem is here, man. Hashem is watching me, how I'm going to make such an embarrassment. So when a person understands and is conscious, who am I standing in front when I pray, when I conduct business, inside hidden rooms, even when a person goes to sleep, all the time Hashem is here. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. There's a verse. Shiviti means I put Hashem always in front of me. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. Hashem is always in front of me. So if Hashem is in front of you, you're ever going to dare to do something embarrassing? I say to people, if Baba Sali would come to the shul on Shabbat, would you still come with pants? You're crazy? In front of the Baba Sali, wear pants or mini skirt and high heels like the Twin Towers? God forbid. So why are you not going to come like this in front of the Baba Sali? Busha, such a holy man? Then comes the next question. So wait, the Baba Sali is higher than Hashem? No, chas v'shalom, I didn't say it. So right from the Baba Sali you're shaking, but from Hashem you're not shaking. Because en lecha yirat haromemut. You don't have it. You don't understand what it means, Hashem. If a person understood who is Hashem, no one would make sins. Even with the Yetzer Hara. Even with the Yetzer Hara. Many times you want to do something and an important person walks in the door. As soon as he walks in, you change immediately. I tell you, one time I learned in my own experience. I went in Israel, in my hometown. There is a little mall where I live. It's a long mall. And there's stores inside, and there's a shoe store. And the father, the person that owned the shoe store is the father of someone who went with me to school when we were kids. You know, when I went there, they have nice shoes. In Israel, it's half a price than here, good quality Italian shoes. I said, it's an opportunity, we'll buy a pair of shoes. But they were not there. There was the woman who sells. And the woman that sells, she had another guy there. And they were fighting such a fight. Screaming. And I was standing outside, hearing everything. As soon as I walked in, and what can I do for you, sir? In Hebrew. איך אפשר לעזור לך, אדוני? All of a sudden, she started to smile. Half a second ago, you should see how she was. She was ready to stab the guy. As soon as the customer walked in, שלום, אדוני. איך אפשר? Up! Change! Why? Customer. You see a person can control his anger if he really wants. When it hurts in the pocket, you can close your mouth. You have what to say to the buyer, but you know you're going to ruin the deal. How many people would lose $1 million because they insist to tell the buyer the truth in his face before he signs the contract? Most people will wait after the money is wired, then they'll send him Megillat Esther as a gift for Purim with different words. But before, no, don't get the customer is always right, Rabbi. I mean, in America, at least, that's how it goes. We have one interesting thing. Chazal are teaching us, they're giving us advice for life. What is the advice? To stay away from the nations of the world. Let's clarify it in a minute or two. Chazal say, stay away from umot ha'olam, from the nations of the world, because there's a big chance they will corrupt your ideology and the way of our life by being too close with them. But at the same time, the same sages spoke very highly and respectfully about those nations. Depend what they do right. If they do something right, they gave them compliments. If they do something wrong, they spoke about what they do wrong. But they did the same thing with the Jews. They also say there are Jews who do this and there are Jews who do that. And in other words, they spoke about what's right and wrong with no politics. Whenever they spoke derogatory comments about Goyim, which Goyim usually they speak about? The idol worshippers. Always look, akum, 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 meaning oved kochavim umazalot. At the same time, they say cannot steal from the goyim, you cannot deceive them, you have to respect them. Rabbi Chaim Vital, the biggest mekubal in the last 500 years, the student of the Ari, everything the Kabbalist in the world knows, it's thanks to him. Without him, he wouldn't know the word Kabbalah today. 500 years ago, he's buried in Syria, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Some Syrians here from across the street, 10, 12 years ago, they went to Syria when Assad still was sitting and eating cream, you know, before the war started. And they came to meet him, 12 Syrian business people from the community here in Flatbush. And they went to the graves. They went to the grave of Rabbi Chaim Vital and other graves there of big Syrian rabbis. And the cemetery wasn't kept so well. So they said to him, to Assad, we're going to pay for fixing the cemeteries, you know. We'll clean, we'll do, we'll make the road, you know, we'll get rid of the garbage, we'll make a fence. Baruch Hashem, they could afford it. He got insulted. He said, God forbid, it's my duty. This is people who used to live in my country. It's our obligation. We're going to fix the whole thing, and we pay. You understand? His ego, ma. I need your money, chaser li keser, I steal 99% of the money here. What will I do with that? He might as well put it on a holy rabbi. So anything maybe will help him in Olam Haba, after gassing his people yesterday and today. You understand? So, Rabbi Chaim Vital writes, you have to love the goyim. It's one thing not to steal from them, not to deceive them, to respect them, but to love them, that was a big surprise for me when I saw it. It's not my nation, ma. I love my own brothers. My neighbor across the street, a Jew. Do I have to love him like I love my brother? Obviously not. But you see, say even that he says. But let me tell you some of the things that they spoke about. On one hand, they said, you always have to remember that every human being was created in the image of God. Image of God doesn't mean that God has a nose and eyelashes, you know, and allergies in his eyes. That doesn't mean the image of God, in the image of God. Image means in a spiritual image. What I just explained before with the soul. Not that he has hands and a belly, and you know, and his glory, it goes 5 feet high. No. Some people, they translate things literally. They don't understand. The Torah doesn't speak literal. Everything you understand literally, 99.9% of the time, sometimes completely different, and sometimes the opposite. So, you need the oral Torah for that. So this is what the Torah said. The Torah says, everyone was created in the image of God, therefore, as long as he's alive, that means that's the interest of God. So why would you would not respect him? Why? Now we're not talking about criminals who come to murder you. That's a different story. We have rules what to do in a case like that. Talking just a person. We don't have permission to put him down or to disrespect him. That's number one. In a war with Israel and Midian in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, the daughters of Minyan, the girls, they were trying to make the Israeli guys go and make scenes with them, the Goyot. They went to the field where the battle was. Like some Israelis who went to Uman, Ukraine, they go to Uman on Rosh Hashanah, the Breslev. So a few of them, when they came back from there, they say, they confessed to me that they made a big scene over there with the Goyot over there. They say, there was such a temptation, I fell. I went to do a mitzvah, I ended up making big scenes over there. Why? Some of these Goyot have no dignity. They run around on the streets. This is what happened back in the day. So it says that I went out where the battle is. So when the Israeli soldier arrested them and put them in prison, what did they do to them in order for none of the soldiers to make a scene with her? They were not modest. Obviously, they come to make a scene. So what happened today if they find a woman that is completely not modest and they arrest her? They're not going to put her in front of everyone the way she is, so they bring a blanket or something. But what happened, even in America, by the way, you should know there is a rule, even though the rule is far away from the rules of the Torah, but even they have rules that if a person is naked on the street, he can get arrested, go to jail. They have a name for it. I don't know how they call it by the law.
Indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure. Baruch Hashem. According to the Torah, 7.5 billion people should be all in one cell. And then 150 people are allowed to walk in the street. Well, it's the same. According to the Torah, everyone has to be in jail and few people on the street. According to them, everyone has to be on the street and few people in jail. It's a nice separation. So when they took them, they made their face black. They took burned wood, like charcoals, and they made all their face black, that no one would like to look at them. Who would like to make a scene with the Idi Amin Dada? You know, it's like they painted them like this. It reminds me when the Jews came to America, Shabbat was a working day. You couldn't find a job. You are Shomer Shabbat, the Goyim, they need it. It's like a Friday for them. It's a busy day, Shabbat. There wasn't a weekend like now. A weekend was only Sunday. So all the Jews came from the boat in Seaport. The Jews, you know how Jews are. They came with 2 suitcases like this. Mendel, come here. All right, they go in the street. Oh, for rent. They come in. That's how all the Jewish area are close to the seaport. In the beginning, they all went Lower East Side. All the way East Broadway, Grand Street, Delancey Street, Allen Street. The Jews started to occupy the whole area. Why? They didn't have time now to start looking in the entire America. Came out of the boat. Oh, Tati, for rent. Okay, how much? They brought some money, you know, took it out of his shoes, you know, and that's it. That's how it goes. Then he brought his uncle, you know how it was, his cousin. Baruch Hashem. Same way Queens became 50,000 Bukharian, Bli Ayin Hara. Everyone brings his uncle and brother and friends. And Borough Park, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the salt shaker, he had many Hasidim there. So he went a little bit everywhere, and he came to Borough Park, it opened. Everything spilled. So one Jew bring another. Once you hear some Hasidim move to an area, go and quickly buy real estate over there. I'm not joking. You can become a millionaire. Every time you hear at least 10 Hasidim already moved to a place, go buy a lot of cheap property over there, wait 2-3 years, and new Borough Park is starting. Why? That's the way it is. Everyone brings his friends, it's the family. One brings the other. That's how all the communities of Frum people started. Everyone is in Lakewood. Everyone is in Monsey. Everyone, they all wants to be together with the minyan, with the shul, with the holidays. That's how it goes. So when the Jews came to America, it was very difficult. Later, when there's no room, they crossed the river, the Williamsburg Bridge, and they started to go to Williamsburg, and then they went all the way to Borough Park. This is how it was. It wasn't like today, everyone has cars and trains. We're talking long time ago, more than 100 years ago. When I lived in Lower East Side, I used to pray in a shul, Hasidim de Polin. That was the sign, Hasidim de Polin, the Hasidim that came from Poland. There were big marot over there that I used to take out, open it, 1870, 1820, 1850, almost 200 years old. The pages were yellow, falling apart. You go like this, it breaks in the middle, falling apart. This is Gemarot that they brought 180 years ago with them on a boat, probably. Or maybe it was printed in America, I don't know. History over there. So what happened, there used to be the family of a rabbi, Talmid Chacham, that they threw him out of the apartment over there in Delancey Street because he wasn't paying rent. He didn't have money. Why? He cannot find a job. Every job he's finding, Friday they fire him. They give him the paycheck for that week because he said, tomorrow I cannot come. So tomorrow it's a busy day. What do you mean you cannot come? Shabbat, you're fired. Here is your money, goodbye. So they work 1 week, 2 weeks, they don't have a job. They work another week, 2 weeks, they don't have a job. That's how they live, very, very poor. So one time, the landlord threw this family to the street, and this Hasid is standing on the street with a few suitcases and his wife and all his little children in a freezing snow, midnight, at night. There's no place to go. Think about it. No money. Even hotel you cannot afford. Standing over there and it's snowing. But you know, we always say in a tefillah, Baruch gozer umkayem. Before Hashem brings the decree, He already prepared the remedy. Before. It may take time to find it, but you can be assured that He was waiting for you already before the problem arrived. So what happened? The goy, doorman across the street, saw family standing for an hour on the street like this. Something is not right here. He went across the street. Can I help you? Why you always all of you standing here like this in the snow? He told him we just got kicked out of the apartment. Make a long story short, he said, listen, I wish I can give you an apartment. I'm only working here, but I can put you in a room, the heat room, when they have wood, pieces of wood, and they burn it. They make charcoals there, and they heat the building. Would you like, I'm going to try to bring some mattresses and put over there. At least you have a place warm. Nothing. So of course, they liked the idea. You know, they went there. They already there 2 or 3 weeks there. And the children, all their faces became black. So you have Yoeli and Fischel and Mendel and all the little cute Ashkenazim Hasidim. They all have black faces, speak Yiddish. So one Jew who already was there in America for a few years, he came a few years before them. He walks in the street, he's already a banker, a businessman. He walks in the street and he hears Yiddish. He turns around, he sees Mr. Jackson, Mr. Williams, all of them speak Yiddish. Doesn't understand what's going on. Say, hey, excuse me, how do you speak Yiddish? So what do you mean? Oh, so the black. Why are you black like this? So come, we show you where we live. So he came inside, he saw the father is learning where he was in such a situation, was learning Torah. So he said to him, well, he told him the story. This rich man, he took out his checkbook and he wrote him a check equal to 1 year of rent. Let's say like 50,000 today or more. Big amount. He said, here, that will be enough for you for a whole year. Bezrat Hashem, you find a job. Doesn't even know him, just met him. So when this rabbi took the check, he said to him, can I ask you one question? He said, yes. You yourself Shomer Shabbos? He said, of course, I used to be, but here you cannot be Shomer Shabbat. You know what's going on here. You cannot get a job. So he said to him, so what's the point of me taking this money from you? If I wanted to be Mechalel Shabbat, I could get a job myself. I don't want to work on Shabbat, so I'm going to take advantage on a Jew that does work on Shabbat. It's the same thing. Thank you very much. I can't accept it. I couldn't believe this guy. Took the check. He went back home. He got so angry. He comes in. He tells his wife the story. You believe the nerve he has? I'm giving him a check. I don't even know him. And he said to me, I can't accept it. The wife, he expected her to, endorse him. She came to him. She says, right. Shame on you. You should learn from him. You told me only 3 weeks we're not going to keep Shabbat, and I promise right after that everything will be fine. Let me just get in, and then we'll go back to keep. And it's already 3 years. If we're not going to keep Shabbat, I want you to give me a get. I'm not going to live with you anymore. This poor guy, I can't believe it. I'm giving $50,000 to a poor family. A minute later, my wife wants to get divorced from me. He didn't have a choice. The next day he went back there. He said to him, now you can accept the check. Oh, well, what's the difference? He said, he told him what happened. He said, listen, that's it. Here you go. Now I'm Shomer Shabbat. He took the money. He saved the family. The end of the story is that these 2 families, each one of them, one of their sons became the biggest rabbi in America. The 2 biggest rabbis came from those 2 families. One from the rich guy and one from this Rebbe. What words their name? It doesn't say in a book. Why? Why they didn't print the name of the families? Not everyone is interested. The whole world would know that he gave up Hashem for money. Even though now he's Baal Tshuva and he became big tzaddik. but to have it in his record that I used to be frum, religious, I came to America, I had difficulties, and the first thing I did is got rid of Hashem to get a job. It's not such a big kavod. Even though now you Baal Tshuva, and you may be even better than before you made the sin, because Baal Tshuva is a very high thing, but some people don't feel comfortable. They don't want their kids reading that I used to do this and this and that. You understand? So Chazal saying like this. So they used to make those girls black that no one would want to look at them. And they used to take the earrings off, all the jewelry that they were putting to look more attractive. So they say that one person took the jewelry off, and right away they kicked him out. And they brought another person to paint them. Why not one person would do both? Because if he would stay there a little bit too long, there's a high chance he will already make the sin. That's what the Gemara say, En apotropos la'arayot. Just when you think you're the greatest guy, and you watch your eyes, and you learn, and you're modest, and you never dare to make a sin, think again. Greater people than you in the history fell. So what's the solution? Don't put yourself in a place of jeopardy. You don't go there, you're not going to fall. You're going to go to the club in Manhattan, don't expect tomorrow that you have a little boy named Chris. Don't be surprised. One thing leads to another. Don't worry, I will convert for you, Itzik. I will convert for you. Oh yeah, you really convert. That's the tragedy of the Jewish nation. They think conversion is playing sheshbesh. Throw the dice. Oh, she's Jewish now. Number 6 came. Very good. All the problem is gone. Baruch Hashem. One Syrian guy here told me that the rabbis of the Syrians about 80 or even more than that, 80 years ago, because of this, now today it's 1,000,000 times worse. 80 years ago compared to today, intermarriage, not the same rate. Today it's a lot worse. But back then when it started, when Jews already started to marry non-Jews and violate one of the major rules of the Torah and betrayed Hashem, one of the things they used to do is to say, don't worry, Dad, bring her to the Chacham. The Chacham will go 1, 2, 3. Baruch Hashem will make her Rachel. What do you worry? There's a solution. The rabbi saw it became, Chas v'shalom, a game. Everyone has his desire right away. He makes the Torah be the servant of his desire. So they made a ban. Nobody can convert. So who paid the price? The real converts paid the price. The converts who really wanted to come regardless of relationship, they blocked them in their community. They made a ban. Why? There's no other way to protect the community. So this person told me if they wouldn't make that ban, you would not see anything of what you see today. None of us would be left. No one would know who is Jewish, who is not Jewish. This kid in shul now, how do you know if he's Jew or not? His grandmother was one of them. Without that ban, you would not know anymore. That's what's happening right now exactly in Israel. Did you know that? In Israel, there are tens of thousands of children. They are Safek Yehudim, Safek Goyim. 50% Jewish, 50% Goyim. How can it be? There's no such thing. You're either 100% Jew or 0% Jew. But we don't know. So it's an equal doubt. So this kid now has bar mitzvah. You're the rabbi of the shul. His father gives donations to the shul. One day he brings him in. You see this kid looks Swedish. Doesn't have a Jewish face. Or Vietnamese. Or Mr. Lee. He comes, oh, so now you just realize that your biggest donor married someone from Korea or from China, who knows what. And now you have 5 minutes to clarify how exactly she was converted. Was she really keeping mitzvot or no? Some goes to the Hashem Yirachem, the reform. His wife is a dog. He's going to make him a Jew. Didn't you see the film on YouTube? They made bar mitzvah to the dog. They put tefillin on his head. Mazal tov. $30,000 bar mitzvah. I have bar mitzvah to my son next month. 1 meal I make. Bring some people to the house, and then in a shul on Shabbat, finish. The dog has a bigger bar mitzvah than a cute Jewish boy. Do you understand the world of lies, what's going on over here? The bar mitzvah of Rav Chaim Kanievsky was L'chaim, 5 minutes. His father, the Stipler, the Chazon Ish, all the uncles, Rav Greneman, all the important Rabbanim, they were standing around. Mazel Tov, Rav Chaim, Mazel Tov. He said 5 minutes Dvar Torah. They drank 1 time L'chaim, a little bit mezonot, puts his tefillin, finished. Bar mitzvah, 10 minutes. And the dog of the reform guy, $30,000 party with invitation, black tie.
Now there's a wedding on YouTube.
Ah, there's wedding. No, wedding that American women marry their dogs, yes. Ay, 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 ay.
Good question. You're talking about fear. A lot of times you say that a person should not fear. Because they have emunah, so how do you balance that?
Actually, the emunah requires fear. The Chazon Ish say, what does it mean, emunah? Emunah, if I have emunah, that means nothing bad can happen to me? No, that's not what it means. Big tzaddikim had problems and losses in their life. What does it mean, emunah? Emunah means that whatever Hashem does, it's exactly what the best thing could have happened to me in the long run. Maybe right now I don't see it. Maybe right now I feel horrible. Maybe right now I feel that my life is ending. But Hashem says, whatever I do for you. And the more you suffer, the more I love you. It's an indication that I love you even more. So if you have this emunah, you take the pain with a smile. Why? It's a good investment. When people make investment in real estate, it's very painful in the beginning. Very painful. You have to buy the lot. And then you have to wire the money. And you have to stand an hour in a bank. And until you finish the wire. And then this. And your credit check. And you do appraisal. And the bank refuses to give you the mortgage. A lot of headache. And finally you got the approval. And you begin to build. And Jose today didn't come to work because he was with Sylvia somewhere last night. He decided not to show up. And what's going to be? Soon I need to move in. The house is not finished. And the builder is cheating you. And the air conditioning guy messed it up. There's a lot of headache. Why people do real estate? It brings green pieces of paper. One guy said, I love the smell of the money. I tell you something. When I came to America, it was 1989. 1989. Finished the army. 4 days later, I was here. What is a guy that his English is broken, and he is 21 years old, and he needs money. He needs to start making money. So I started to work in a bagel store. As I'm working in a bagel store, first job where I was a Jewish girl, little tiny Jewish girl married to a guy. Goy and a Jew. I worked for them in the beginning for a few months. Then I moved to a better place in Great Neck. From Little Neck to Great Neck. I went a little bit higher. So when I lived in Great Neck, my boss had a belly. He was in the 18th month. Not now. The belly was growing and growing, Baruch Hashem, like this, wide and huge. And he used to love to eat. He owned a bagel store. Every 5 minutes he make himself bagel, 5 floors like this. And so now, even though I wasn't exactly the Lubavitcher Rebbe, but I still ate kosher. I wouldn't eat pork, this. Most Israelis, they have fear to eat these things. So he comes to me with the chazir, with the cheese. Have some. He smiles to me. Have some. He looks at me like I'm the chief rabbi of Great Neck. Back in the days, there was nothing in Great Neck. There was maybe one Orthodox shul. That's it. And few reforms, and that's it. Today, maybe you have 20 or more. Bli ayin hara. Back in the days, we're talking 1990. 1990. Think about it, 25 years ago. So, it's delicious. Here, have some. I say, be careful that God will not choke you. So he made fun. God, yes, smiling. After I quit, I hear a month later he got a heart attack and died. But I have this, after 25 years, I have this picture of him all the time with his mustache and big belly, all day counting money. Like this, his hand goes around his belly like this all day. I have this thing all day. You know, all day like this. This scene doesn't come out of my head. How I used to laugh. All day counting money. Where is he? He was 40-something years old. Went express, I don't know, I don't want to tell you to where. Ay, ay, ay. So why did I tell you the story of this goyot that when they captured them and they went to prison, they say like this. The goyot used to say, aren't we a creation of God that you will do such a thing to us? And the Jews answered them, לא דייכם שנטלנו את שלנו מתחת ידכם? Meaning, 24,000 Jews died because of the girls that were not modest on the streets. Hashem brought an epidemic. Because some, not 24,000 people went to the goyot. Some went, who knows how many, 100, 200, maybe less, maybe 20. Small number went. But 24,000 died. An epidemic. Contagious disease. 24,000 died because of lack of modesty. When the golden calf, which is idol worshipping, the biggest crime, how many died?
3,000.
3,000. Bowing down to a cow. Imagine such a horrible thing. People make a cow. Imagine now you come to Borough Park, Chas v'Shalom, in 48th Street and 13th Avenue, 5,000 Hasidim. God forbid. I just want to ignite your brain to think.
Well,
They put a big statue of a camel. Let's change the story a little bit. And they all go like this. It will be, that's it, the end of religion. That's it. If there was any chance to make Baalei Tshuva, that moment it will be gone.
But with the golden calf, they didn't die, they were killed.
Yes.
The order of Moshe Rabbeinu.
Bottom line, in the end, when you get killed or when you die from a tree, that means Hashem wanted them dead, no? Someone can die without the approval of Hashem. So what difference does it make how they died? Hashem wanted them dead, yes or no? Yes. If it happened, yes. Someone who died. As soon as it happened, can you say, oh, it's a mistake, Hashem didn't want it to happen? What do you mean? If he died, if Hashem didn't want him dead, he would be alive. Now he's dead, that's it. Means Hashem approved it. Maybe he didn't want it, but bottom line, he approved it. The many decisions we make in life we don't want, but we are forced to do it. A person that puts his son in rehab, he wants it? Of course he doesn't want it. He's forced to do it. It costs him a lot of money. And it's a lot of aggravation. And it's an embarrassment because now everyone would know about the problem and this and this and that. But he has to do it. Why? It's his son. He's trying to save him. Even though the chance that he will get out of it is not even 5%. Most of the time it doesn't help. If a person doesn't want to change, if a person really wants to change, he can change without all these rehabs. If he doesn't want to change, the best rehab in the world doesn't help. It's just to turn the switch in the mind of a person why he should change. That's the main thing in rehab. First, to give a person a reason to live. All the people run to drugs today because they are so empty and they are so far from spirituality and their soul is dead. So by taking these drugs and alcohol, they eliminate the body and they feel the soul, even though it's a trick. It's a scam. It's an illusion, but illusions feel real. If I come to a person and say, listen, from now on, I like you so much, don't worry, I have $60 billion, I don't have what to do with my money. I like what you do. Every month, I wire $50,000 to your bank account. Please relax. Come by the end of the year, you're going to have 600,000. So the person is, I'm rich. He's rich now. It's not worry anymore. Stop reading Tehillim. Moshe, why stop reading Tehillim? Don't worry. The Tehillim already proved itself. Comes the end of the year, he comes to him and he say to him, "No, shalom, yeah, who are you?" "I came to collect." Come on, he really took me serious. But this entire year, it was 100% real. Even though he never had a penny for a second. It was an illusion. But the illusion felt real. That's it, I'm rich, ma. This guy made a deal with me. Most of the people live in illusion. 90% of the businesses in the world live in illusion. So much work, in the end he makes less than a taxi driver who sits and listens to Divrei Torah all day in an air-conditioned cab. Better, believe me, better. All the work, traveling, shopping, buying, aggravation, workers, problem with the wife, comes home late, so much problems. In the end, Salim from India makes more. Just arrived yesterday from the plane. Well, right away, became taxi driver, no problem. Makes more money than all his businesses. And college, and learning, and education. Ay, ay, ay. Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa was walking by the big sea. Back in the day, it was still possible. And וראה אונייה טובעת בים. He saw a big boat, last thing for today, is drowning. וכהרף עין טבעה האונייה וכל אשר בה. Within minutes, everything sank. Then he saw one man is leaning on one piece of wood in the water and waiting and trying to, when the wave coming, he's trying to take advantage on the waves to get all the way to the beach. Finally, he arrived to the beach with nothing in him, no suitcase, no nothing, left with nothing. And he didn't even have his clothes. Why? Because when the boat was sinking, probably he was sleeping not modest in his room. It caught him by surprise, and all his clothes got wet. And now he's not dressed. So he arrived to the beach. He has to go and hide by the rocks over there. He was hiding. Then came the time of the Jewish pilgrims to come to Yerushalayim. In the 3 festivals, they go up to Yerushalayim. So this refugee told them, "I'm your brother. I'm from the children of Esav. Help me out. Give me something to wear, to eat. תנו לי מעט כסות ואחסה בה את חלקי התחתון. Give me at least something to buy pants. I'll walk without shirt, but at least the pants." It's embarrassing. So the people that walk by, they told him, they decided to give him a Musar talk, to give him a lecture. They say, "You should know that what happened to you will happen to all your brothers one day, when Mashiach comes. For all the problems you did to us all the years, in 1 minute, it will be all over and you're left with nothing." Then he saw Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa. He said, "If these ignorant people don't care about me, that I'm like this naked, and they're giving me now a talk." Started to give him a speech. So he said to him, "You look like a respectful person for me. Maybe you have mercy on me." So he had, the rabbis, they used to wear special limot, long things. He had 7 on him. So he took one, and he gave it to him, and he said to him, "Here, cover yourself." And he took him to his home, and he gave him 200 dinar. How much is 200 dinar? Who knows? Huh? 5 million? Sure. It became a very good deal for him that the boat crashed. No. How much a person today is considered ani if he has less than what amount in the Gemara? The Gemara asks, when are you allowed to come and collect donation for yourself? When? If you have $1 million in your bank account, you're allowed to collect? Maybe not. That's a problem. It's your business. I'm getting the embarrassment. There's rules. You're not allowed to collect if you have enough to live for 1 year. How much is that? 200 zuz. 200 zuz. In every country is different. In Israel, maybe it's $12,000. So if you have less than that, you're allowed to collect. You consider poor. Maybe in America, it's $60,000 because things are more expensive here. Oh, I don't know exactly how to evaluate. But if you have enough to live up to 1 year, you still consider a poor person. So basically, 95% of Americans are poor because they don't have enough to live a year without working. No? Even people, what they call themselves middle class, graduate of Columbia University. Now he got fired. 7 months later, doesn't know what to eat. He has to borrow money. 7 months, expenses, that. His kids have to learn piano. The other one, rollerblades. This one, basketball. Pirche baseball. Pirche Mustafa. Pirche this. So many pirche. Non-stop checks. Camp. His wife. Moshe, camp. What camp? We don't have a job. Camp. I promised to the kids. She doesn't worry about she worries about herself. 2 months now, they drive me crazy over here. It's not 6 months out of the job. Most people, some people have enough money to live until the year 10,000. So he gave him 200 zuz, lots of money, and took him to his place, and he gave him a ride on his horse, whatever. And he gave him a lot of respect. After a while, listen to this story. It happened in reality, and we're finishing in another minute. He took him all the way to his home, this guy. Where do you live? He told him where he lives. He gave him enough money to start his life after he lost everything he had. The rabbi is helping the goy, descendants of Esav. After a while, the Caesar died that was in charge in Israel back in the day. The Romans were in charge there.